Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast, Episode 33. I am your host, Dantes, and of course, joining me, and I'm really proud to say this, the Xenoblade Master, Caleones. How you doing, Caleones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And yes, I am happy to inform that it took me a little over 100 hours only, but I was able to finish Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Where it ranks among my favorite RPGs of all time. I'm having a hard time coming up with others that I like over it. So that's how good it is. Mind you, I didn't play the first one, so Dantes still regards that one as the best one. But I still haven't played it. I'm gonna try to, get around to it, play it and see how it is. I may like it better, or I may like this one better because I played it first. So who knows? But as far as this week, there's been pretty good rumors coming out. Things to get excited about. So we're gonna be covering those things. So go ahead and take it away, Dantes.
So first thing first, before we start our rigmarole, I want to apologize. Earlier when I was setting up, I inadvertently hit the stream button. A lot of people were joining us at that time. You even got 11 views. You guys listening to me speaking in a foreign language. Woo! So I apologize for that. Shit happens when your studio is everything right here in a small table. So anyway, aside from that, time to have a little bit of fun. I want to welcome everybody to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast, Episode 33, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, if you don't want to see ugly faces, right, Caleones? It's all good. We got a solution for you. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and download this podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show us some love. Also, we do have a Facebook page called Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and switch core and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, Caleones, are you ready? I said, are you ready? For the no one in attendance. And the 5 people, today's slow. I apologize, it was better earlier. And the 5 people watching around the world. Let's get ready for Reggie's Hot Topics of the week.
My body is ready.
My body's ready. And Caleones, what is the first hot topic?
Well, the first one, and it's a big one because yesterday, if you went to Twitter, it was trending all over the place. So people were talking about Bandai Namco. They were talking about Metroid Prime 4, and basically an article from Eurogamer, which they confirmed that Bandai Namco Singapore is actually working on Metroid Prime 4 alongside Nintendo. Just so you know, aside from this story, they actually had another piece of news released today, and it's actually that not only was Bandai Namco Singapore working on Metroid Prime 4, but they actually transferred the Metroid Prime 4 game to the Bandai Namco in Japan, and now Singapore studio is working on another Nintendo Switch game which nobody knows about. So that's what happened between yesterday and today. I know a lot of people were saying that, Bandai Namco Singapore, they haven't worked on any games. This is the first game for the studio. Metroid Prime is in bad hands because they have people that have no experience working on other games. But Dantes, you kind of remember that with another studio, the first time that they worked on a game that nobody heard about. Can you tell us the name of that studio?
Retro.
So Retro Studio, same thing. Nobody had heard about the studio. Nobody had any trust in them. And especially since they said, we're going from a 2D Metroid over to a 3D shooter type Metroid. And everybody freaked out because that's not Metroid. But what came out of it is, dare I say, a masterpiece. So hopefully it's going to be alongside, the same thing. They have the blueprint anyway, so they already know how Metroid Primes 1, 2, and 3 work, how those games actually play. So they're going to emulate those things. So I have complete faith. So yeah, just give us your spin, Dantes.
My spin. I really don't have much opinion. A lot of people were going all over Twitter and fighting. Is it real? Is it not real? Oh my God. Anyway, who cares? Who cares? I mean, I'll put it this way. What matters is that I'm hopeful that Nintendo will be making sure that the game is good, even though maybe it's not a Nintendo internal developer, maybe it's Bandai Namco. It doesn't matter. Nintendo will make sure that it's a good game, and I feel it will be a good game. I think the Star Fox deal with Platinum Games was just one off. Typically, Nintendo has done a good job picking up the developers and picking up outside developers that may support games like Mario and Rabbids, great hit. Even Xenoblade Chronicles, that masterpiece, beautiful masterpiece, was a lot of it was outsourced, and a portion of it was even outsourced to Bandai Namco. So there's a lot of things that Nintendo has done in the past that they have used outside developers, because Nintendo cannot develop every game or every IP in their catalog themselves. They have to outsource. Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS was not an internal developer team, and they picked up an unknown too, and they did an awesome job with Luigi's Mansion in the 3DS. So they historically, aside from Platinum Games and doing Star Fox, seems that they have a good track record of outsourcing key IPs to other developers and picking up the right studio for that developer. So anyway.
Yeah, and that seems to be one of the things that hurt Star Fox Zero is that from what the people, I mean, from what we hear, Miyamoto was actually too involved in it, trying to like force the gamepad, the Game Pass use into it, and that kind of made the game suffer. So at first, it should have been like a Nintendo 64 Star Fox 64 sequel, or kind of like a remaking of it. But it ended up being forcing the gamepad, and that ended up hurting the game. So hopefully, that's one of those games that hopefully it didn't kill the franchise, and that we're going to see it again somehow, because it is a double A, almost like a triple A title if Nintendo handles it right. And as far as Bandai Namco, they've already been working with Nintendo before. So the Super Smash Brothers games for the 3DS and the Wii U, Bandai Namco is the one working on those. The Pokken tournament games, Bandai Namco also helped with those games as well. So they are. I mean, they have a track record with Nintendo. They have a really good relationship in between them, and it seems like they understand what Metroid Prime means for Nintendo fans, and they're not gonna take any shortcuts. They're not just gonna do anything and slap the Metroid Prime name into it like like the 3DS games that we had. So that's not gonna happen again. But hopefully they will take the time, and I know it is. I know they will have. I mean, it will be a good quality game, and something that I'm not sure if it's going to be this year or next year, but once it comes out, it will live up to Nintendo standards.
I agree. I have no concern. I really don't. People fighting on Twitter. Come on, take it easy. Who cares? We'll see who is the developer, and Bandai Namco seems to have done a really good job working with Nintendo. They seem to have a really good relationship. So to Caleones' point, I don't think Nintendo will allow. I don't think Metroid Prime, though, is that dear to Nintendo. I think they're doing it because they know that it quenches the thirst of the hardcore Nintendo fans, because this franchise speaks to hardcore Nintendo fans and hardcore gamers. This is not a normal casual Main Street type of game, which is the same with Xenoblade. I'm not throwing shade at Metroid. I think Nintendo has to have those hardcore games so they have that crowd check for them to keep coming back to the Nintendo console. But we have to admit, it is not a Pokemon, it is not a Splatoon, it is not a Zelda or a Mario, but that's fine. Nintendo needs to have that balance. But anyway, Caleones, I think we're ready for the next hot topic.
Okay, so the next one, it kind of left everybody in a cliffhanger because, okay, so first, we don't hear anything about the Nintendo Online for a year, especially since they announced it, they said the pricing, and that was it. They didn't say anything else. So we're waiting for 2017, for it to come out. Then 2018 rolls around, and they release information saying that it's going to be releasing on September, but they still don't give any details about it. The only thing is that Nintendo, they had a Q&A session that we're talking about the Nintendo Online service, and they said the Nintendo's, the Switch Online, the next announcement will be worth the wait. What they mean by that, I mean, it could be a lot of things, but the fun thing about our podcast is that we can we can step into their shoes and try to imagine what it is that they wanted to say with will be worth the wait. So Dantes, your Nintendo, you're telling us it's going to be worth the wait. Why is it going to be worth the wait? What is it coming with it? And let me clarify. This is not. It's not that we know what it is that is coming. It's just us, kind of like playing around a little, trying to see what actually will make it worth your while when it comes to it. So go ahead and take it away.
So the first thing I'm gonna say it better comes with, and I'm saying it better comes with, is freaking cloud saving. Right now, Nintendo, I got 3 games on my Switch that I'm scared. I got 100% Mario Odyssey, but you can quickly 100% Mario Odyssey, I think. I got at 100% Zelda Breath of the Wild with 900 Korok seeds there in the save file. And
how many hours?
Over 380 hours between 2 playthroughs of Zelda. And I got a Xenoblade Chronicles, which is close to 99% fully done with over 300 hours of gameplay. So those 3 games, I am scared that my Nintendo Switch breaks. I'm going to lose a lot of hours of gameplay. So Nintendo, you better bring cloud saving. That's the only thing I care. I don't care about anything else. Only needs to come with cloud saving. Now, for speculation purposes, I think the reason they're saying it's worth the wait is because it will have the virtual console, a version of the virtual console, not exactly probably the same one as the one that we've seen in the Wii U or the Wii, but it'll have virtual console games. Now, could it be a streaming virtual console game? Could it be that they allow you to give you a free one, or virtual console games with online, which they already have mentioned? Stuff like that. It will be interesting. Also, the other things that they need to, and you know what? This is true, Caleones. Nintendo is way behind on online services, so hopefully it will come with a game chat on the Switch, not on the phone, and it'll have apps that will be able to use the full capabilities of the online, and of course becomes more of a service. It will become, again, if you're paying for $20 a year, you should have a lot of good services, like achievements. Oh, Caleones, achievements. Could it be that we'll get achievements? So things like give you example, Mario and Rabbids, I did 99% of the game. I only not completed the ultra task at the end of escorting Toad in like a long ass field, right? And it was painful. I did not do it. But if there was achievements, I'll bet you $100 that I would have got out of my way to do that. You see what I'm saying? So it just gives you that extra push. Even though I'm a completionist, at the end, if I get like there's no achievement on it, I'm gonna stop here. I can do that, which is nice. But with achievements, I could see myself like, nope. I don't want to have that blemish in my record, so I'm gonna do it, right? So again, things like that need to come, Caleones, with this service. So we'll see. So what do you think? What things do you want to see, and things that you expect to be there this September? September is right. September.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So yes, cloud saving is a given. At least it'll give you the opportunity to like save into your SD card, and that's not something that you need the online for. The micro SD card, just save it there, or back it up to your computer. If you got a USB-C, cable and connected over. So that's something that should be a given. But especially cloud saving with the online. Hopefully that's going to be attached to it. Aside from that, and this is where I go all the way to the other side of the pond with my prediction and what I really want. If you remember last year, one of the games that Nintendo announced, and they announced it only on a Japanese Nintendo Direct and not in the US, it was Phantasy Star Online 2. I would like for Phantasy Star Online 2 to be one of those games that you can download and play for free as long as you have the Switch Online. So if you pay for the online, then you have access to the game and you can go ahead and play the game. That game, remember, it does have cloud saving directly, so it's not going to be saving into the Switch itself. Everything's going to be on the cloud. So I'm pretty sure you're going to need the online for that game, especially the Switch Online, if it's going to be working like that. But that's one of the games that when I used to have the Dreamcast, like I was a die-hard fan of Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast, and I would feel the same way on the Switch, especially if I can just take the Switch with me. We stop at a restaurant, Wi-Fi, connect, play the game, and just have that flexibility. But I feel like that would be a really good game. I know that people are saying that, oh, Smash is going to be the one that's going to launch alongside the Switch Online. And yes, I mean that's one of the games that would absolutely need the Switch Online, so you can do all the tournaments and things like that over the internet. But I feel like the best way to sell the online would be with a game like Phantasy Star Online 2. That's my take.
We'll see. I mean, they have to show their need to pay for those $20 a month now. They already have some big multiplayer games on the Switch like Splatoon and Mario Kart, where it's just going to force people, fans of those franchises, just going to force you to buy the online. But that's not fair, in my opinion. So, again, you know how I feel. I feel that the online should be not different. Should be a subscription-based service like what was PS Plus during the PlayStation 3 era. Online should be free. I still stand by that. But let's see how they sweeten the pie, and hopefully it doesn't make you feel like you're forced to do it. It makes you feel like you want to have it. You see what I'm saying, Caleones? So I'm hoping that they put enough in there, enough sauce, so that hot dog tastes good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I meant there. But anyway, I don't know if you want to add anything. If not, let's move up, because the next topic could be entertaining, to say the least.
Well, I guess we can leave it at like as it is right now. We're gonna get more information and hopefully soon when it comes to online, because you got to get the people ready, for that, to pay the $20, especially if you're gonna do something to, like you said, like games like Splatoon, like Mario Kart, that they need the online to play. If you're gonna have those people, you're gonna force them to pay either a monthly or a yearly amount. You need to warn people, beforehand. But I feel like in the next month or so, we're gonna get more information about it. Hopefully sooner than later, because the way they're teasing us about, this way with the will be worth the wait. Everybody wants to know. But moving along over to the next one. And I'm gonna say the title of this one. I'm gonna let you run with it, so you can tell people what your thoughts about it is. So Yasuyuki Oda from SNK, he talks about SNK heroines and their over sexualization. If you are not really familiar with it, SNK, they were showing like a couple of different games that they have slated for the Nintendo Switch and other systems, but one of those games, especially the trailer that they showed, it's a little skimpy, and the female characters were missing a lot of clothes. So there's a lot of people that will be complaining about it. But Dantes, why is it that you wanted to talk about this?
No, so they asked a question about sexualization, if I can pronounce it. In the game I'm showing right now, and there's two modes. You can play the game with the original costumes from the SNK games, fighting games, but also you can put some skimpy clothes on the characters, right? The reason I wanted to talk about it a little bit is just to have a good, discussion, Caleones. I mean, it's get a little bit political, I guess. I just feel that hopefully this game, it will have some outrage, with no denying about that. Xenoblade Chronicles had some outrage. And I play Xenoblade Chronicles, and there's things there that I felt that it was like, oh my God, really, you really went there. But still, even at the end of the game, what mattered was the characters, what mattered was the story, and I even didn't care how they were dressed, because they were portrayed correctly. And, Mithra and Pyra are two well-developed women, powerful women who fought, and they show their power. They were the most powerful beings in the game. They were the Aegis, right? So, in a sense, Monolith Soft, and I don't know if you guys know this, they're composed mostly with women that they work in the workforce for Monolith Soft. So I never felt that it was, sexualized. If you feel that way, then maybe it's your own opinion that, oh my God, they need to be dressed up properly. But to me, a powerful woman can wear whatever she wants. If she's an executive, and some women, they are powerful out there, that they're independent, they dress sexy, and I think that makes them feel great. It makes them feel great. Now, going back to this game, who cares if they dress whatever how they dress, right? It is the game is about powerful women again fighting and kicking the asses of each other, right? And those women would probably kick our ass, right, Caleones, even though they're fake. So my point to all that is I don't think there should be outrage. Gaming should be about different products. There could be a product that is more adult oriented, and that crowd should buy the game. We should have the freedom to pick what products we buy. Secondly, the culture in Japan is different than the culture here in the States, so we have to understand that too, right? And doesn't mean it takes away of the game. If the game is fun, you will buy it and you will play it. I'll bet you $100, Caleones. This was not brought up. It was a bunch of guys with no shirts, with tights, with you know what I'm saying, with shorts, fighting on their underwear. No one would be saying anything about that game. And there's been plenty of games like that out there that the guys show with not much clothes as they fight in this type of fighting games. Hey, you remember Onda from Capcom? He doesn't have much on, right? I know he's a sumo wrestler, but he doesn't have much on. You know, he's showing his business, I guess you could put it that way. No one was saying anything. Oh, but the woman, you put a woman dressed skimpy, oh my God, this is the end of the world. No, we should have a product for everything. If you don't want to support it because you feel that it's sexist, don't support the game. Don't buy it. Buy another game. Buy a different game. Just let people have freedom to choose whatever product they want to buy. That's what I wanted to say. Anyway, Caleones, go ahead with what you want.
Yeah. I'll say, like, the game is not, it's not really like Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball type. So it's not exactly like that, but it's still out there. And I know they give you the different clothing, so you have the option to dress them up differently.
Yeah,
but
just
still,
dress them normally. Don't put the skimpy clothes and fight them without them. Yeah.
But still, we're probably gonna get like because sometimes they'll have the tournaments. They'll be televised, fighting tournaments and things like that. And one of them featured Street Fighter V. And they had the alternate costumes for some of the characters, and the tournament actually banned some of the costumes for the females. So you had to use the alternate costume because the other ones were a little too skimpy. So so I mean, if you're gonna have the option for the game, like you said, if parents are don't want their kids getting those games, then that's why they have ratings. So to make sure that you're not gonna be grabbing one of those. I know kids are still gonna, some of them are still gonna get the games, their hands on those games, but parents be aware, and the rating system is there for a reason. So we'll see how it works out. But at the same time, there's also kind of like the cultural divide, because the way that we portray games here in the U.S. Is differently than how they portray them in Europe or Japan and those places. Like if it's a game like this in the U.S., they're probably gonna asked to to change it, to cover it up, like they did with Xenoblade Chronicles X, where they actually had the character creation, and you could actually make make the females characters breasts, make them bigger or smaller. So they eliminated that for the U.S. version, but in the U.S. everybody loves violence. Everybody loves blood and all that stuff. But in other countries they frown upon that, so they either don't let games like that come out in their country, or they censor some things from the game. So it is a cultural divide. It is a very Japanese game, and that's one of the reasons why you kind of learn to expect those things from them. But we'll see what happens.
We shall see, Caleones. I think we're done with the hot topics. So I think we're moving. And still haven't got my my soundbite for it, but someday you'll hear some gunshots. But Caleones, time to move to Onuma's news burst. So what pieces of news we got on the burst today, Caleones?
Okay, so for the first one, we have a piece of news, coming from NVIDIA. Basically, thanks to the Nintendo Switch, NVIDIA's fiscal year saw a massive boost in revenue. So they were talking about the analysts, and according to like CNBC, NVIDIA exceeded analysts' expectations in 4 of its 5 markets. And basically, the biggest one was in gaming, which produced like $1.74 billion in revenue alone on the gaming section. So thank you to Nintendo Switch. It's selling really well. It still hasn't been a year, so Nvidia can expect to continue to sell more. And Nintendo did say at the very beginning, and Nvidia said it as well, that they expect this to be a relationship that lasts at least like 20 years. So we can expect different iterations of the Switch with Nvidia and Nintendo working side by side, working together on this. We can hear you.
Sorry. I was gonna say they got a little bit butthurt last time because of the PlayStation and Xbox picking AMD cards. So they feel probably really happy with Nintendo. Anyway, next piece of news.
Yeah. And going over to the next one, they said that pretty soon they finally announced that you will be able to use My Nintendo Gold points on the Nintendo eShop. So basically, those gold points that you get whenever you purchase, digital games, physical games, and you go, to get the points from it. That's going to start in March. And when it starts, they mentioned a little for different countries, but it's not going to be as high. But it's going to be something where for every point you get like 10 cents on the dollar or something like that. So it depends on how it's going to be on the here in the U.S. But thankfully, finally, we're going to be using those gold points to get discounts on Nintendo Switch after all this time. So I'm glad they finally got around to it. Going over to
Keep going.
Going over to the next one, they have the Mario Kart Tour for mobile devices will be free to start. So this one, I guess it was kind of expected. Pretty much all the games have been free to start. The only one being Super Mario Run that you have to purchase the game, but still, you still had like the first 4 levels available to play and download. So Miitomo was free to start. The Animal Crossing camp was free to start as well. Fire Emblem Heroes was free to start, so it was expected that Mario Kart Tour will be free to start as well. Then we have Miyamoto that he explains that his involvement with the Super Mario Brothers movie, and this is his quote about the game. And he said, "I've been considering an animated film for many years now. There has been talk that Nintendo could make a movie because." Making a game is like making a movie, but they are completely different to me. Interactive experiences are completely different from non-interactive media, and to make a movie, I wanted a film expert to do the work. Thinking that way, I have talked with all sorts of different movie directors and producers, and eventually I was introduced to Illumination via Universal Parks and Resort, with whom we are developing theme park as attractions. So yes, this is like we said a couple of weeks ago that it was probably a given why Nintendo was working with Illumination, and it is because they already have their relationship with the Super Nintendo World Parks with Universal, and that's why they decided to go with Illumination as well, which belongs to Universal. So it just makes sense since they're going through that portion. Next piece of news is that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 version 1.3.0 will be coming out next week, and I'm pretty sure that you're pretty happy about this one. But at the same time, you said that you're probably gonna wait a little until you play the game again and do the new game plus.
Give him the details. What's coming with the update?
Okay, so this is the different details from it. Okay, so Blaze can be locked, so they aren't accidentally released. So, for example, let's say that you have a common blade, but you have a 4-star common blade, and you want to go ahead and keep that one, raise the affinity, and then release it so you can get the overdrive protocols and things like that. So now you can actually lock that common blade and make sure you don't release it when you start releasing different blades to make space or to get different boosters. Then you have the core crystal bonding scene can be skipped. So whenever you're doing the core crystal bonding scene, I know if you're like going after core crystal after core crystal and trying to do all of them, I'm glad that you can finally skip it. That's probably going to save you a pretty good chunk of time when it comes to gameplay. The mini map is enlarged, and icons from the skip travel map will be displayed on the mini map as well. Also, for all those wimps out there, there will be an easy mode added to the game. I shouldn't say that because it actually took me a while to learn the battle system for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Once I learned it, I'm now dominating in the game, but it takes a while. So until it finally clicks. So it takes a lot of practice. It seems very complicated, but it is easy once you understand it. But you're still going to have an easy mode if you still want to just go through the game and enjoy the story, which it is a really good story. There also will be a new sorting option for items that will be added as well. And about the new game mode, is going to be the advanced new game. It's going to be unlocked once you beat the game. Basically, if you beat the game and you're on that title screen where you have Rex holding hands with Pyra and Mitra.
No, come on, man. No spoilers.
Well, no, it's definitely
a title screen. A title screen will tell you.
It's going to be a different title screen than the ones that you already seen before. So once you get to that title screen, that means that you'll be able to do the new game mode. But you know what? All these other ones is going to be pretty much spoilers because we're talking about different blades, different drivers.
Okay. Let's say it this way. So they're gonna add I want to say it this way. They're gonna add the Torna drivers as blades, and then they're gonna have the Torna blades available too, and then also let me see what else. Oh, also key. You can take with you the levels, the items, the town levels. Everything will be with you. But quests, heart to hearts, will reset. So you will have to do those again. You will be able to carry blades with you on New Game Plus, and supposedly you're gonna have new abilities that you can expand their affinity shards. So for drivers and blades, so maybe you can even make them more powerful. But I already feel powerful. I don't know why I need to make them more powerful. You can kick super bosses' asses really easy in this game. The other piece was that, and this is the one that I'm excited about, is because I'm happy to play New Game Plus once all the DLC has come out, is that you can lower levels in. This is the one that I'm excited about. And then you can trade that extra experience points for items. I was like, that's a neat idea, Caleones. So I really want to go back. I want to play New Game Plus again when I decide to do, which will probably be December of this year. But I want to go back all the way to level 1, and I want to start again. Level them up so I can trade them for items and make it even more powerful. And the cool part is that I'll be able to keep my battle tactics that I'm using in late game from the start of the game, which is nice. Now it'd be interesting to see quest blades because quests are resetting. Like, give you an example, story blades like Wolfric or Rock, where you get them from the start, or you'll have them resonate with you, but then it's gonna be weird that you have 2 rocks basically in the game.
What Monolith Soft said is that they understand the continuity when it comes to the story, but they actually care more about just people having fun. So they said they're gonna have those blades available from the start. So whichever blades you already got, it seems that you can go ahead and keep all of them if you restart the game with a new Game Plus or Advanced Game Plus.
Yeah, so basically you're gonna have a theory fighting theory. In theory, you can have that. Yeah. They can have that happening. So again, it's exciting. I like the New Game Plus. Like I said, I'm gonna wait until the DLC comes out. I don't want to repeat this game again and do everything again and again and again. So I'm excited for it. This is a big update, and it's a free update too. So again, if you haven't bought the expansion pack, you're gonna get all these new blades and all this content for free. So that's good for Monolith Soft. But also, if you bought the expansion pack, they're gonna give even more items for help. And Monolith Soft have been giving pretty good items as months been passing through the campaign, where I got legendary cores, auto balancer accessories, stuff like that. They've been giving good items. So again, it's kind of microtransactions, but again, the big part is gonna be the new blades that are coming. They're gonna be fresh, brand spanking new, and of course the story expansion, which I think everybody's waiting for sure. But aside from that, kind of sounded like a hot topic discussion there, but we wanted to go into the details of this one because this one is big. It's a big expansion. If you're a fan of Xenoblade Chronicles like me and Caleones is now part of the club, I think this is good news for all you peeps.
And this is a free update. So if you get the game, this is a free update. You don't have to purchase the expansion of the game. What we announced today, that's free. That's really is for whoever has the game already. If you bought the DLC, then you can still get this and other things eventually. They said that there's going to be a Blade exclusive to the people who bought the DLC. So we'll see who that is. There's some guy that starts with an M that they haven't mentioned yet. That maybe it's going to be that one. For the DLC. So we'll see. Or it may be your favorite figure behind you that may become available as a Blade.
Once you play Xenoblade Chronicles 1, you understand why it's impossible. But keep going.
But going over to the next piece of news, and this is coming from Take-Two. Basically the company, the umbrella where Rockstar is located. So they already released WWE. They already released NBA 2K games. They already released LA Noir. They said that the games performed great. That the system is doing really great. It's actually surprised them how good it is doing, but that at this time they do not have anything specifically to announce. So I know a lot of people, including myself, we've been waiting for Take-Two and Rockstar to announce Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Switch because, I mean, it sells everywhere. So, it's going to sell on the Switch. And I'm pretty sure that would be the first third-party game to get to 1 million copies sold on the system. But, yeah, for now, they don't have anything to announce. Doesn't really say if they're working on something, but they're not ready to announce anything. So we'll see if they have anything in the future. We have Koei Tecmo. They reconfirm their commitment to the Nintendo Switch, and they said that I believe that the Switch was well received and became popular because it's really suited for the modern lifestyle, not only in Japan, but the US and European countries as well. So we are readily available to make titles available on Switch and either our own IPs or some other company's IPs. I feel we've been working on making the titles available on Switch much faster than the other publishers. If there's any need for wishes to be played on Switch, then definitely we will work on that. So again, another company that they've enjoyed success on the Switch, and they're ready to to bring more games to it. So we'll see what else they have in store for the system. Then we have another announcement or a piece of news on here when it actually scared me when I read it. And it's in Japan they're going to be releasing the Switch Pocket Mini Case keychains that hold a cartridge. So it's basically a keychain in the shape of a card, and you can open it and you can store a single cartridge, a Nintendo Switch cartridge on the inside of it. But I would be too scared to carry something like that because I think I'm gonna lose it. It's gonna look nice. If I ever got one, I would not put a game in it. But what are your feelings about it?
You know which one I'm getting, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let me see if this comes out. I'm gonna see if I can somehow import that to have it on my keychain. As you guys probably see up here, I got a lot of collectibles for Xenoblade, so I would be more than happy to get that keychain and have it on my keychain, I guess, on my keys. But yes, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. I put it because I found it funny. I wouldn't put the game. I'm with you there, but I think it's an interesting concept, and probably if you're really playing a Switch game that you're really into, maybe you just bring it in the keychain, and then you can pull out your Switch and put the game in there. But at that point, why don't you just leave it inside the Switch?
Well, I mean, I would get the Breath of the Wild. I would get Super Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I would also get Super Luigi's Odyssey as well. So that would be
Sure.
You heard it here first. No, but yeah, it's I would be too afraid to have games in it. It would be just for show, but not carrying games. So this is another piece of news which I actually threw in here. It's not one of the ones that you put in here, but it's one that I actually sent you via Hangouts earlier today, and it's that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 on the Switch has outsold the PS4 version in Japan. So the PS4 version for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 released about a year ago in Japan for the PS4. The game released for the Switch a couple of months ago. But now the Nintendo Switch version has outsold with 110,217 copies sold versus 108,000 copies sold for the PS4. So I'm not saying it because, as from the side that I mean it beat the PS4, but more so that I'm glad that that third-party games are selling well on the Switch when compared to other systems. And these are things that people were wondering, and one of the reasons why people want games to release on the same day for all three consoles so you can get a better comparison on them. But it's nice to hear something like that. And as a tidbit, it's on pace to surpass the original Dragon Ball Xenoverse game for the PS3 as well. So the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 game on the Switch might end up becoming the highest selling Dragon Ball game ever for any system in Japan.
Cool, but I think you also jumped one news. Well, we talked about it during Force In Unison Live, which was the Crash Bandicoot was coming on the Switch. So give you a heads up on that one.
Okay, so that one I definitely did jump, and I'm looking for it right now. So I try to.
It's all good. It was just
misplaced it.
It is not officially confirmed, but Eurogamer basically stated that yes, it is coming to the Switch and PC. No mention of the Xbox. I put it in Newsburst. Typically, this could have been a hot topic, but I put it in Newsburst because we went in detail in Force In Unison Live. So if you want to go watch that, go every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So we discussed that, and basically what we said is that this was known. It was going to happen. This is not a surprise.
And that's something we said last year.
Yeah, last year. It was like, yeah, sure, this is coming to the Switch. There's no way in hell this game is not coming to the Switch. But I would say that what we missed is probably, I think we thought that it was coming on the Xbox too, but nothing has been announced. But there may be a chance it comes out later. But still, I think PC and Switch makes sense, and we'll see how that goes. But just wanted to quickly put that one in because that's the one that you jump. And about Xenoverse, yeah, I mean, that's good. Japan is going to be ruled by the Switch. I got no doubt about that. I think the interesting part, if third-party games will outsell worldwide other systems like PlayStation and Xbox. That's what's going to be interesting. But Japan is going to be dominated by the Switch. So
yeah. So in the last three announcements or three pieces of news that we have are new games announcements. So we have Happy Birthday is coming to the Nintendo Switch for the West, and it's going to come out this summer. We also have Fallen Legion Rise to Glory will be coming out for the Nintendo Switch on May 29th in North America, June 1st in Europe. And the Legend of Kai Anniversary will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. And this one, they haven't specified. They said 2018, but the game will be coming out as well. So those are three other game announcements that we had, for the system. And that's basically it for the pieces of news, Dantes.
Caleones! If we wanted to know the hot games coming down in the pipe, which is the store that we want to go to, and spend our life?
It's going to be the Shigeru's Supermarket.
Go ahead.
And yeah, we have 13 games that are going to be that came out this week. So we have the Premium Pool Arena, Mercenary Kings Reloaded, Dandara, Black Hole, The Dark Side Detective, Mercenary Saga Chronicles, Disc Jam, Atomic Run Gun Jump Gun, Arcade Archives Crazy Climber, Aperion Cyberstorm, Aegis Defenders, Neo Geo's 2020 Super Baseball, and our game of the week, which is, and that actually turns out to be the best way to play this game on the Switch, Dragon Quest Builders. So those are the games of the week.
Yeah, I think Dragon Quest Builders, it makes perfect sense to be on the Switch. I think that's a perfect game to take and do your grinding and do all the crazy stuff that you would do in that game. I haven't played it, but supposedly what I understand is the game is like a Minecraft but with story. So we'll see. You going to buy that game, Caleones, or not?
Well, I think I will, but the only reason why I'm torn is because the second one is going to be coming out this year as well. I don't know when, but I feel like I think I'm going to get this one and get the other one as well, especially with my 6-year-old son. We probably would have pretty good fun with it. The only thing is not really a multiplayer game. The next one, part 2, will be a multiplayer game, so that one will be better, to play with other people as well. But Even though some people may see it as a Minecraft clone, it actually it's more story based. So you're gonna get a lot of story with the game. So it's not just building aspect of it.
Okay, just wondering. Caleones, that's it. Look at how efficient we are. 45 minutes because we don't want to waste your time.
Or we ran out of stories.
We ran out of stories. Yeah, that's probably it. Was a good. It wasn't like a lot of stories, but it was a good week in the big stories. So we went through those. Caleones, let's end this show. Ooh, you know what I like to end it with? Some Xenoblade Chronicles music. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who came and watched and enjoy the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 33, every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Please remember to subscribe. Subscribe. Our road to 400 is in your hands. Subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, hey, if you don't want to see our ugly face, like Caleones, it's all good. We got a solution for you. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and download this podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show up some love. Also, hey, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule with shows like Xenoblade Mondays, Force In Unison live every Tuesday, Wednesdays, streaming Wednesdays, where Caleones and Inkling G play a little bit Splatoon. Fridays, Minecraft Fridays, so you can bring out your kids and have some fun with the Force In Unison crew. And of course, Saturday, this lovely show. Also, we do have a Facebook page called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, Dantes says finally, go to Chiguero's News and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, thank you again for joining us. Good night, everybody. Long live Nintendo. See you guys.